aside, that damn Chris Fletcher, I ain't gonna lie to you, he is giving Cat Daddy.
Yeah, yes, a little bit.
That is good looking. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
That damn Chris Fletcher, he kind of fine.
I can see that. Hello, friends. We're back for Black and Curious. I am Kendrin.
What up, what up? If y'all missed the disclaimer earlier, Deja is sick, okay? So that is why I'm sweating like a whore in church.
Okay. If you've never been here before, welcome. We do a cross-section of pop culture and real life. Today we are back with another reality TV reaction, I guess.
Woo, child.
Love and Marriage Huntsville has been kind of underwhelming this season, but there have been there's been some bright spots. So we're going to talk about a couple episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville really quick. Before we get to the meat, Stormy having Tisha and Tiffany over in her guest house.
I feel like I did not watch it, or I turned it off. I fell asleep, 1 to 2. But the fact that Tiffany came in there with the baby, like, girl, you came in there with the baby because you weren't ready with the smoke.
Right. Well, I think it was sort of at the end of the episode, and maybe it will carry over till next episode. But it cracked me up because now that I'm thinking about it, Candy does that too. Like when she meets the girls, when the girls come over her house, they don't go to her house. They go to her guest house. And Stormy was like, you're not going to bring that negative energy into my real house. Like y'all can come over here with this guest house. I'm going to bring these cheese and crackers down to the guest house with this fruit, and y'all can have
no AC in damn Alabama.
And no AC. We don't have nothing. You subject to the elements in the guest house.
Child, and I was like, I see you sweating like a crackhead. That poor what's her name? Kiki, poor thing, said she was sweating because of that damn methadone.
My God.
I ain't on no drugs. I'm just sick.
All right, so let's do the name change ceremony really quick. Mel's name change.
That annoyed me so bad that I made a short about it for the YouTube streets. I just like, girl, what the hell is all of this? Because my thing is, are you never going to get married again?
It was just foolish. And listen, she can get married and not change her name. But at the end of the day, I understood the spirit of it. But I don't know why we had to have a whole ceremony, like wedding about it. Like, girl, please. And this is why Melody drives me crazy, because I want to be like, I am anti-Martell 98% of the time. And I want to have that 100%, but then she does something like this, and I'm just like, you just as foolish as he is.
And he is. That, I mean, two peas in a pod, baby. 2 peas in a pod. Okay.
Like how he was so upset about her doing her name change and like, oh, it's a slight to me, and telling Miss Nell, oh, I can't believe you're going to support that. I can't believe you going to da. It's like,
like, what difference do it make? Y'all no longer together.
It's not like y'all are married and she's having a name change ceremony. She divorced you. And even he, during their they went on like a group trip together, I think. And he was like, yeah, there'll be another Mrs. Holt at some point, blah, blah, blah. And like he was kind of making light of it. So now why are you mad?
It's really stupid. It's like, what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. But like, how sweat. But I mean, that's just the nature of how Martell operates. Don't nobody care, girl.
He's foolish. He is foolish.
And so is she.
She as well. She is.
Like, again, like I said before, on either here or on the shorts, sis has no storyline. So we are grabbing at straws. And the straws is really not, they're dissipating as soon as her hands touch them. Because this shit is stupid.
Very dumb. And I actually wrote down, I feel like Stormy is the new Mel.
I would not do that to Stormy.
Not in that way, but like Mel was sort of the anchor of the show that kind of was the person, think about first season or first couple of seasons, where she was kind of getting the people together. She was kind of doing the sit down. She was kind of stirring the pot a little bit. And I feel like Stormy has kind of like seamlessly gone into that role because Letitia is too
Sensitive.
She's too sensitive to play that role. And Kimmy has bigger fish to fry. Kimmy is like, I'm not really doing none of this with y'all. Like, I'm here, I'm showing up for work, I'm getting my Jeep, and that's all I'm going to do. And I feel like Stormy has actually stepped into the role of like the mainstay of the show that's keeping the show going and keeping the show interesting.
I almost feel like it's so okay. So to your point, I almost feel like Mel has become the friend of the show. And
Absolutely.
Stormy has become main cast.
No, 100%, 100%, 100%. Stormy is main cast. She is title, like when the show first starts, Stormy ought to be the first person we see or the last person we see.
Hello? Because Mel, girl, you producing at this point. Go ahead.
She's producing. She's producing, and that's all she's doing. And like all of these little events that she's throwing or whatever she's doing, like no one cares. And there's no big showing, and that's fine. But it's like no one cares about your t-shirt business. Like Stormy has a real robust business, and she has the
real issues.
Yeah, and she has the capability to stir the pot. She has the capability to bring peace. Stormy is actually the anchor of the show now, in my opinion.
Well, all right, come on through, Stormy girl. And Stormy is actually likable.
She is likable. She's likable and she's funny as well. And not like that nice nasty. Stormy is just going to be nasty or just going to be nice. And she's not playing that. Like, she's not playing that middle of the role. Oh, I'm going to be nice. She doesn't do nice nasty. And I like that about her. Very straightforward and to the point. Same. Let's talk about the Fletchers real quick. That was a mess.
It really was. But so, and aside, that damn Chris Fletcher, I ain't gonna lie to you, he is giving Cat Daddy.
Yeah, yes, a little bit.
That is good looking. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
That damn Chris Fletcher, he kind of fine.
I can see that. But their whole like little sit down with the family, I'm like, I think they're trying to get a bigger role on the show. But I'm like, my God, this seems like a lot, first of all. Second of all, and I know, like, based on watching his YouTube channel, Carlos King really likes families to be on the show together. Yeah. But
they got too much dysfunction. They got the one son that was reckless and then got all arrested and all these tickets and all this legal trouble that cost up to the tens of thousands. It sounds like, according to Mama.
Yeah, and then she's like, "I'm not giving you your dog back until you pay me." Like, girl, what? You sound crazy.
Did she sound crazy? I don't disagree with her.
I thought it was a little crazy.
So she basically, what she said was that he got arrested. The dogs was damn near on their deathbed, and they paid she paid, not her and her husband. She paid like $8,000 for like medical bills for these dogs. And
my thing is this, like, why? My thing is this: be like, look, I'm not giving you your dogs back because you're not responsible. Say that, but like this lingering over the head of like, you gotta pay me back. I'm like, girl, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah, I mean, that part is a little stupid, but I probably would say that that's in there somewhere. She just didn't.
Maybe
that's not what came out.
Maybe
because
also
the child is not responsible if you had to pay $8,000 for a dog's medical bills. That's crazy.
Well, also, I mean, people take their responsibility to their dogs differently. Some people are like, I'm going to pay to the nth power to keep this dog alive. And some people are like, the dog got sick and the dog died. Like, that's it on that. So it could be that
please, the baby laugh, Fred.
Like, it could have been that she made a different decision that he would have made also. And then the last thing I'll say is the daughter who wasn't raised with them. I'm like, girl, you was in a different household, so you can't expect that you were going to have the same experiences that the people in the people in this household had.
Facts.
So yeah, you cannot expect to have the same outcomes when you weren't raised in the same household. No. And yeah, there's like a whole other parent to take into account. Like, who knows? Her mom might have said,
you can't have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, we're not going to give you that. Or like, that's too much to ask. Or you never know how the mom played into that too. Because even with my mom, thinking about when I got my first car, she was going to buy me a nice car. Like, even if she could have had the money to do that, nobody buys. I mean, clearly people do it, but most kids wreck their first car. Why in the world would you spend that kind of money? So her mom might have been more on a practical standpoint of like, I'm not spending all that money to put her in a car that she's going to wreck.
That part. And I also feel like, to Chris's point, all she ever talks about, and not just Chris, even her other older sibling, because they both, Nell and Chris, said they came into a relationship with children from previous relationships that were young.
Yes, but I get the feeling because Nell's son was raised in the household.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
so that's a little bit
that,
different.
like, the only thing that she ever complains about is the car thing. That's the only thing she ever brings up. And so it's giving, you just wanted the monetary value that you saw your other siblings getting.
I'm not sure if I believe that. I think a lot of times there's a thing that kind of breaks the camel's back. There's a straw that breaks the camel's back. And it could be that she has always felt like an outsider, because in some ways she was sort of an outsider in that she wasn't raised in the house with them. So
Right,
she probably always felt like an outsider. Understood, but I can see her saying, like, you treated me differently. And like, from her perspective, she feels she was treated differently because she had a whole other parent to consider. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm not sure if Ms. Nell's son, if his dad was like as involved or whatever, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a different dynamic. It seemed like he was probably raised in the household with the other siblings, and also feeling like an outsider. Like, you come here on the weekends and they have their bond that's formed and they're a unit.
Yeah.
The siblings have their own unit and you're just like the outside person. So I feel like that dynamic is just, it's tough to navigate, and it's tough to make everyone feel included in both households. And like, you know,
I think there's just more things that need to be considered.
Yeah, more things to consider. There's a whole other, parent to consider. So that makes it hard. I think that was pretty much it that I had. But yeah, that family seems like a mess in a way that I don't necessarily want to see on TV.
I will say that I enjoy the fact that Chris and Nell are on the show. I also love that they had conversations on, I haven't watched the Carlos Key interview, but the snippets that I've seen where she basically talked about having gone through infidelity with Chris in their relationship, and what that did to her and their relationship, and where they are today because of, that infidelity. And now I have a better understanding of why Mel and Martell were more so being counseled by them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for them on the show. I liked them as friends of Mel and Martell. I liked them in that capacity, but I don't like them full time. I mean, they're not on the, intro full time, but I think that's what they're gearing toward. Mm-hmm. And I don't like it. I think they're a little bit too, I look at them sometimes and I'm like, y'all are too old to be in this mess. And it's not that old people can't be involved, or older people can't be involved in mess, but it feels like it's not age appropriate mess. Like, if it was a bunch of people their age in the mess, that would be one thing. But like, them coming in and like beefing with with Marceau and Tisha, for instance, like, I was kind of like, I don't really like them.
I don't think that they are beefing with Tisha. It's more so Marceau and his arrogance.
No, of course. I mean, listen, a lot of things come back to Marceau, but I'm just saying, like, even with the conversation and the tension in the conversation, I was kind of like, I don't really think y'all need to be involved in it. Like, I was kind of like, I don't like that. I like them as like sage with, wisdom, but not necessarily like in the with the mess. I didn't like
wonder, I'm assuming that they may be like 10 years older than most of the cast, but I don't even know if it's that much of a difference.
I think it's more than that.
Really?
Yeah. It gave me more like
Dr. Jackie.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, black don't fight, so we don't know.
It gave me Dr. Jackie vibes.
I'm like, if that's the case, ew. Because Chris Fletcher is good looking to me, honey, but gross if he is in his 60s. No, thank you.
He's good looking, but I think it's giving very much like late 50s, early 60s to me. All right. Let us know what you think about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Drop down in the comments. Are you watching? Are you interested this season? Do you think Stormy is taking up the reins? Let us know what you think. And in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye, y'all.